Hi, I'm Cedar Newman and I'm a Classicalia semi-finalist. I started playing violin when I was around 7 years old. I actually started playing piano about 2 years before. I had a piano teacher who came to our house to teach my brothers at like 7 a.m. every morning, and I was always like, I want to do that. And actually at the time, my aunt was playing my great-grandmother's violin, which is this instrument, very, very regularly, like almost 6 hours a day sometimes. And I was constantly listening to that. And I think when I was 4, I remember this conversation where I was running back and forth between my grandmother and my aunt, trying to convince everyone that I should be playing the violin. And I didn't succeed because my parents were too scared of tuning the instrument. So finally, when it got to 7, like I guess they finally caved and allowed me to play. A recent change that has really affected the way I practice and the way I play is my mental approach, because often I'm quite a high-strung person. And I've been working on, if I make a little technical mistake, sometimes I'll completely leave the music and suddenly it'll just be about what my left hand is doing mostly, and I'll forget about my right hand, and then it often just is kind of like a roller coaster. So me and my teacher have really been working on an approach to, like, before I play and whilst I'm playing, to be connected with the music, and often more so my right hand, because it's interesting. I have 2 bows, and when I switch between my 2 bows, it completely changes my left hand. So if I'm feeling comfortable with a bow, then my left hand is suddenly, all the shifting, all the intonation becomes so much easier. So I'm just trying to really focus on, connecting with the music and my right hand, rather than freaking out, I think, as we all do sometimes, about the left hand and the intonation. Being a classical musician in Australia is really interesting because obviously I've studied in New York and it's amazing there in terms of opportunity, but sometimes when I come back home, I actually feel even more inspired to practice because of the natural environment. And where I live, it's an hour south of Sydney. And we've got the beach and we've got the escarpment and we've got like rolling hills an hour away. And it's just like a stunning environment. So when you're not practicing, I love rock climbing actually. I love rock climbing, horse riding. I'm trying to surf, not very good at it. But all these things are just like such a different scope to violin, and it's just really helpful, like in breaks or something, to run down and hop in the ocean, and it just completely gives you so much more like mental clarity, I feel like. Obviously there are some hard things as well, like I live at least 45 minutes away from any kind of major city and like an hour and a half away from a major city, so like going to concerts and like rehearsing frequently can be a bit of a struggle. But like overall, I think it's an amazing place to study. My biggest musical influence, which is probably quite unconventional again, would probably be the environment again, to be honest. Like I wake up every morning and I hear the birds and I hear the wind in the trees and all those things, and going to the States and you saw snow and the environment that a lot of those composers would compose their music in. And I think it really affects the way you play and perceive the music. This is my instrument. It's a bagatella from Padua, and my bow, which was actually bought with it, is a Dominican Picard. These two were brought together in London by my great-grandmother a very long time ago when she was at the Royal Academy. I've played this instrument since I was 11, much to the horror of a lot of my family members. They were like, oh my gosh, she's going to break it. Thankfully I didn't. I had a few close calls though. It's been an amazing instrument. I mean, it's come with me absolutely everywhere. And I always try to find new instruments, but it's kind of hard. It has quite a small sound, but a really beautiful sound. So it's being suggested to me that I'm going to have to break away from it at a not so distant point, but I'm kind of just hoping that doesn't come too soon, because it's just such a lovely instrument to play. It's also a lot smaller than a lot of instruments, so it's not as like strenuous to practice for a long time. Like, it's very light. It's actually lighter than my 3/4 violin, even though it's full size. Playing Greek Sonata is an amazing, like I love the piece so much, and particularly what I love about it and what I really worked on it is the communication between me and my pianist. So I find that sometimes, and I've talked about this with my pianist, sometimes like it's like this expectation, you just go in with a random pianist and you just play and it works perfectly. But there's always like this feeling of disconnection, I think, when you do that. So I mean, we spent hours just trying to figure everything out, and I've actually played this piece with so many pianists, more pianists than I've played any other piece with, because I played it in New York, and then I played it multiple times here. And so me and Brad really had to like find a way of like figuring out how to balance my views and his views and working as a collaboration rather than as an accompanist and a violinist.